Why wouldn't someone like yourself run for political office? You have all the money that you possibly need. You've accomplished a great deal, even though you are only 34. I know there's a lot of things that you possibly can do in the years ahead. Why wouldn't you dedicate yourself to public service?
Because I think it's a very mean life. I would love and I would dedicate my life to this country, but I see it as being a mean life, and I also see it as somebody with strong views and somebody with the kind of views that are maybe a little bit unpopular, which may be right, but may be unpopular, wouldn't necessarily have a chance of getting elected against somebody with no great brain but a big smile. And that's a sad commentary for the political process.
I've said before, Russia will not prevail in this war. Ukraine will prevail in this war, and we'll stand with them every single step of the way. That's what the compact says, loudly and clearly. And now I want to hand it over to the president of Ukraine, who has as much courage as he has determination. Ladies and gentlemen, President Putin. President Putin. We're going to beat President Putin. President Zelensky. I'm so focused on beating Putin, we got to worry about it. Anyway, Mr. President.
I'm better.
You are a hell of a lot better.
Thank you so much. Mr. President. Thank you very much.
July the 12th, and it's Ukrainian invasion by Russia, 871 days. So that war is still going on. But one of the biggest things is Ukraine's biggest children's hospital was hit by a Russian missile. And for more of it, more on the subject, you can go to Yulia's website or YouTube. And I just put in Yulia, Yewleea into YouTube. And she lived really close to the hospital. She could feel the effects of the missile, and she does a good program on it. The elections in the United States are going on, but we forget what's happening in the rest of the world, and I guess Mexico has an election, yeah?
We did last month the first female Jewish scientist Mexican president was elected.
Jewish scientist? What are the odds of that happening?
In Mexico, pretty low.
Yeah, are you pretty happy about that?
No, but we'll live with it.
What gives you a reason for pause, Rodrigo?
Well, you've heard me talking about the pandemic before.
Yes.
You may remember in mid-2022, the United States had 1.1 million people dead from COVID.
Yes.
Around the same time, the official death toll in Mexico was a little over 250,000, a little over 250,000, but the excess deaths were a little under 750,000, and that number has now grown to 840,000. The president-elect has committed to continuing the current president's policies about that. So
every time Rodrigo talks, my dog barks. It must be something about your voice, Rodrigo. I don't know what it is. Well, let's go on to the good part of the show. How about that? We're going to talk about the American election.
Yeah, let's get into this.
Let's get into this. We have the political panel here. We have Forrest, Lexi, Rodrigo, Rick, or Rhetoric. If you had a podcast, that's what you should name it.
Rick. That's pretty good.
Rhetoric, yeah. That's right. So let me begin. Okay. America, my heart bleeds for you, but it bleeds for me more. Your choice in this election will determine the leader of your country, but it will highly affect my world and my country. I would like to say that your presidential elections are made with careful thought, but I cannot say that. Your elections have always been fraught with intrigue and backroom deals. Why should this election be any different? A typical American election is usually, hey, that guy looks like a president, let's vote for him. People of substance usually get run out of these type of elections. Case in point would be Bernie or perhaps Marianne Williams. Hate them or love them, they only get so far in the election and then they are dropped by some backroom deal, such as when Obama and Clyburn put their thumb on the scale for Joe during the 2020 primary. Really do not want to parse the words of the person running for president. You do not want to ruminate for too long about what the person stands for. You would rather see what a person looks like and vote for them. I'm sorry, but that is the way it is in a lot of countries, even here in Canada. We are a shallow society. In this American election, you can stand by the guy who is the incumbent or send it to convention and wait outside the arena while a small group of people pick the nominee, much like the priests waiting for the smoke signal indicating they have chosen a new pope. To me, an outsider, it is unsettling watching a new president slowly lose the color of their hair and losing their hair as well. Would not matter who you choose, that person would have their life force sucked out of them during their term. The solution might be to only elect bald people, saving us from having to see them slowly sucked dry. In your history, you have sometimes the most correct. That's true, yeah. In your history, you have sometimes chosen the most corrupt politician imaginable because they beat up, lied, and managed to grab the mantle with their BS. But you are satisfied because being president is a knockdown fight and you are happy with it. So you have a choice, America. Choose wisely. So we have some clips we want to show you and we're going to comment on. Am I correct, Forrest?
Maybe. I
Oh,
don't know if you guys want to comment on it.
yeah, we do actually. So,
I definitely want to comment.
okay. Well, let me remove me.
Over to the president of Ukraine, who has as much courage as he has determination. Ladies and gentlemen, President Putin. President Putin. We've got big.
That was harsh, but he actually made a comeback on that, right?
Yeah, I think so. Hold on.
Not a single one, House or Senate, voted for that legislation. We also passed once in a generation investment.
Shit, I'm sorry. This is 2022.
Roads,
Oh, I was going to say he looked great.
No. That was the wrong clip. This is from
Vice President Trump to be vice president. I think she was not qualified to be president. So let's start there. Number one.
Let's go.
The only thing age does is help you with it, creates a little bit of wisdom if you pay attention. And so the point I'm making is, I think it's important that if the neurologist tells me he thinks I need another exam, and by the way, I've laid every bit of the record out. I haven't hidden a thing. You ought to ask Trump for his, okay? I laid it all out. And every single day I'm surrounded by good docs. If they think there's a problem, I promise you, or even if they don't think it's a problem, they think I should have a neurological exam again, I'll do it. But no one's suggesting that to me now. And I'll ask you another question. No matter what I did, no one's going to be satisfied. Did you have 7 docs? Did you have 2? Who'd you have? Did you do this? How many times? So I am not opposed if my doctors tell me I should have another neurological exam. I'll do it. But that's.
I didn't find that.
It's on the defense.
I didn't find that.
He's just fucking on the defense. Sorry, Walter, but that's just it. He cannot. There's no offense for this. You just look like a doddering old man trying to tell people you're not a doddering old man. He's on the defense, and he's not going to recover from it. Not this way.
Well, at my age, I'm taking notes. Well, I thought that wasn't bad.
It's sort of sad. Like, leave the old man alone. Let him stop being the president.
Okay. I don't understand what 2025 is. Do any of you guys know the 2025 project?
You know, the Heritage Foundation's like, script for Trump if he gets into the office. These are all the crazy right-wing things they want him to do. It's very, like, all the fear-mongering about it's kind of crazy considering it's just republicanism. There's nothing new here. But People are very afraid of republicanism.
It's a little more than that. You know how there was a lot of chaos with when Trump became president, and Project 2025 is a way to get ready for that. They have a database with thousands of people who want to get into office really quickly and be ready to promote fascism in the US government. And they also have a small 900-page book with the things they want to do once they're in the government. I think we all know the things they want to do. They want to outlaw things like abortion and women having their own bank accounts without permission from their husband, etc. So
yeah, conservatism. This is just conservatism. It's just conservatism, Rodrigo. There's nothing new here. And like if it's like the scaremongering behind, ooh, Project 2020, look what the Heritage Foundation's gonna do to you. Like, if that's so goddamn dangerous, then why are we risking it all on Joe Biden's hurt feelings for him to drop out? It doesn't wash this existential threat to democracy bullshit mixed up with like, well, we can't kick Joe off the ticket. It's outrageous. You're gonna get Trump. You keep this Joe Biden around.
I could make a point that the Democrats would rather lose to Trump than let Bernie run again.
Indeed. And right now, I think if there was a strong, organized left in the United States, something that still, let's say Bernie Sanders' 2016 coalition kind of didn't disperse as it has over the last 8 years. That Bernie could mount a coup for the Democratic nomination at this convention. He really could. Like, this sort of could be a moment for him, but it's not going to happen. So, too bad.
Also, Obama, when he was elected, he disbanded his coalition so they didn't bug him while he was being president. Well, I don't understand 2025 at all. I just don't, but I get it. They're trying to get their conservative agenda up and running right off the hop, right?
It's just a playbook, yeah, for Trump.
Right.
But I mean, like, all the fear-mongering about Trump being the world's worst fascist, crazy man, dictator, his Jeb Bush wouldn't have had a different policy agenda. He would have put all the crazies on the Supreme Court. He would have packed as many federal justices as he could. He would have just listened to the same, Heritage Foundation or, that sort of ill crap anyway.
Trump says he doesn't know what 2025 is. He says, I don't know about Project 2025. Neither does Ben Shapiro.
That's fun. I'm glad that they're all on that tip. That's good. That's funny. I don't know what you mean. Yeah, I bet you don't. Ben Shapiro knows what's up. Donald Trump he doesn't watch the news. He doesn't read shit.
I also have him mentioning Project 2025. I don't know if that's worth.
Yes. What has he got to say?
He's under siege based on this court. Do you think democracy is under siege based on Project 2025? Do you think he means what he says when he says he's going to do away with the civil service, eliminate the Department of Education, make sure? I mean, we've never been here before. And that's the other reason why you say hand off to another generation. I've got to finish this job. Because there's so much.
Well, I got to finish it, Jack.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, what happens is you never have enough time to finish that job.
Oh, you never have enough time, especially when half your day is filled with cognitive tests.
Open to taking another physical or test before the election. Governor Whitmer of Michigan, for instance, said it wouldn't hurt to take a test.
Well, look, two things. One, I've taken 3 significant and intense neurological exams by a neurologist. In each case, it's reasonably similar. And they say I'm in good shape. Okay? Although I do have a little problem with my left foot because it's not as sensitive because I broke my foot and didn't wear the boot.
Oh, Jesus, guy. Tied an onion to my belt. Shut up.
I'm good. I'm tested every single day. My neurological decisions I make every day.
About leg hairs, remember?
I talk to my staff. All of you talk to my
remember
staff.
That shit.
Sometimes my staff talks a lot. But the fact of the matter is, I don't think you have them telling you that all the major ideas we've undertaken haven't been in part initiated by me. I remember when the staff and I said, I'm going to go to South Korea. We're going to get the chip. What are you doing? I'm going to get Japan and Korea back together again after essentially having hostilities toward one another since then.
Japan and Korea back together again?
About time.
Does he know which Korea? The North or the South?
Does it matter?
No, it does not.
He clearly, like, even if it's all just misstatements, why is it you can't make it through a paragraph without making a misstatement? And it's because you got a Swiss cheese of a brain.
No, it's because he's up past his bedtime, Rick. What do you mean? He's an old man and he's got to go to bed early. And if an emergency happens after, let's say, 8:30 p.m., well, it's got to wait till the morning.
Do you have a clip to prove me wrong?
Is the most straining job in the world, and it's 24/7. How can you say you'll be up for that next year, in 2 years, in 4 years, given the limits you've acknowledged that you have today?
He's not going to be up for Dallas.
The limits I've acknowledged I have?
There's been reporting that you've acknowledged that you need to go to bed earlier and your evening around 8.
That's not true.
It's not true.
What I said
I'm a party dude.
Instead of my every day starting at 7 and going to bed at midnight, it'd be smarter for me to pace myself a little more. And I said, for example,
considering my
8,
advanced
7,
age.
6 stuff, instead of starting a fundraiser at 9 o'clock, start at 8 o'clock. People get to go home by 10 o'clock. That's what I'm talking about.
Only giving them an hour?
Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
Imagine going to a Joe Biden fundraiser and having to sit there for 2 hours. Good Lord.
Well, it takes some, he talks a lot slower nowadays. You know, I like what Jill's
Good Lord.
in your picture here, Forrest, behind Biden. She's wearing the same with scarf.
I didn't even notice that. Yeah, she's really on his ass, isn't she?
She's there in case he falls down. You know what I wonder though sometimes, Forrest, is what do voters think about this? What do you think the average American person thinks about? Do they think
we'll get to that. I think we still need to see one more little Biden thing here.
Oh, okay.
Because they asked him about that vice president thing.
Oh, yes.
And he didn't really have a good answer.
This concludes.
Respectfully, earlier you misspoke in your opening answer. You referred to Vice President Harris as Vice President Trump. Right now, Donald Trump is using that to mock your age and your memory. How do you combat that criticism from tonight?
Listen to him.
Listen to him. Oh my God.
Does that not fill you with confidence, Walter?
No. Listen to him.
Oh no.
Well, I want to listen to what the average American voter thinks about this, if you don't mind.
Well, let's find out.
Weren't decided. My question for you, you weren't decided before this happened if you should stay in the race. How do you feel now after watching this news conference?
Relieved, and I think he should stay in.
So your opinion's changed from not sure to he should stay in?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And how about you? How do you feel? You weren't sure. How do you feel now?
Same. I think he's the logical.
What do you think? Do you agree with that?
Yes, I would agree with that. I think what came across was that of what Joe Biden is very caring about people. He's very knowledgeable and experienced, and he's not just out for himself, that he really cares about the country.
And there's no chance that you would be more confident with the Kamala Harris or your governor here, Whitmer, here in the state of Michigan.
Right. Yeah. I think Joe Biden did an excellent job.
During this news conference.
So basically
they were all about Joe Biden's age, weren't they?
Yeah, he had a pulse, and that's why they said, "Oh, let's vote for him." Right?
He didn't look as dead as he did at that debate.
Oh gosh darn it! You know, I'm trying to quit smoking here. You guys have to quit this soap opera drama. I have a hard time quit smoking with all this going on in the world. What do the GOP think of this, Forrest? Any idea?
Well, what's his name? Lindsey Graham had something to say, but I don't know if it's too substantial.
Cognitive exam, you got an F today. This was rambling, stumbling, bumbling. You misled the American people about the state of the world. I had no idea what you were saying half the time. So we need a cognitive test. But here's, and about golf, I'm tired of talking about golf. Go play 9 holes with President Trump. Just play 9 holes. If you think he writes the score down before he hits the ball, you don't know what you're talking. I'm playing with him Sunday. President Trump is a very good.
Does Trump only play with people he can beat at golf as well?
Well, yeah, but that's because he can beat everyone at golf. He regularly beats professional golfers. Bolton thought
Bolton, but
John
okay,
Bolton.
the interesting thing about Bolton, he was kicked out of Trump's inner circle, right? And he he said Trump is unfit for office.
Yeah, he's really pivoted from his old job to CNN correspondent really well. But he was a little annoyed by how he was just angry about how hard Biden went after Israel. He's too hard on Israel.
About Israel and Gaza, to kind of making the case in a real way that I haven't seen him make so far, and this earnest of a way for a two-state solution. But on the sense
but it was almost totally critical of Israel.
That's his prerogative. That doesn't mean he couldn't give a coherent answer just because that's his view.
Well, if you go on the internet, on YouTube right now, there's a whole bunch of talk filled about Biden right now. You can't get away from it. And our old buddy David Feldman, I think he's got a take on this as well, does he not?
He's got a couple takes. I'm not.
We have a crisis. The president is going senile. This is how we ended up with Trump in 2016, because the news media won't do its job. And Democratic strategists, pundits, and certain members of the House are irresponsible pricks who rather see Joe Biden go down because they're not in the loop. They think, well, I'm not in the loop, so I'll stab Joe Biden in the back, and maybe a new president will hang on my every word. Heels. Joe is now tapping into the same contempt for the Beltway's ruling class that Trump taps into. It's smart. And it is the left of center Democrats, the progressives, the real progressives, who are now coming to Joe's side. The squad, the Progressive Black Caucus, women, black women, Bernie and Elizabeth Warren, they're the ones who are saving Joe's ass right now. He'll remember that after he wins in November, and if he forgets, we'll remind him. He'll remember who saved his ass. It was the progressives. It was women, black women, Bernie and Elizabeth Warren. And if he forgets...
He will forget. I have no dog in this fight, so I can't vote. Oh, what the heck you guys are going to do? Which one wins? Is Biden going to remain in office? Is he still going to be the nominee come November? Rodrigo, what do you think, my friend?
I think it's very likely to be Kamala.
Forrest, what do you think? Do you have any thoughts?
I mean, he's only God Almighty can make Biden step down. So, let's be honest. Biden's gonna probably die in November, like right before the election, and then all the Democrats are gonna be running around trying to figure out what to do. It's gonna be Trump. Trump's gonna win. I'm not happy about it, but he's gonna win.
But you're from Florida, so you're used to shithole governors and presidents, right? So
yeah, and
sorry, did I say
I'm used to shithole governors, and I am surrounded by Trump voters, so I am a little skewed in what I might think that average Americans are saying.
Lexi, are you perplexed at all?
No, I just think Biden should step down, but he's not going to. We'll have to push him out.
Well, every time he responds to someone saying anything about it, he's acting like they're personally insulting his manhood. I think he's got too much wrapped up in it.
Too much ego?
Yeah.
You got to have an ego to be president, or prime minister.
Yeah, I guess.
Right. So Britain took a left turn, apparently. Well, it's a centrist left. Biden seems to be, what I don't get is there's no policy being discussed. It's all about old age. It isn't about, hey, we're canceling the student debt. Hey, we're helping children with food vouchers, especially those who can't whose families can't afford food. Hey, we're bringing your mortgage costs down by reducing the interest rates. Hey, we're protecting you as a worker. Like, Joe has a lot of things that he could be talking about, and we're stuck on the age thing, and that's the downfall. I don't know what to say.
So you agree with Feldman?
I actually do, in some respect, not as voicefully as he puts it. I think Biden, the way I look at it is Biden might have a better team around him that cares about people. And even if he was in office, just keep him away from the button, and he will step down next term if he wins, in my opinion. And then Kamala can have her shot. I think he has a better administration than Trump will, judging from 2025. The project, Trump's going to have a lot of assholes who are going to do a lot of asshole things to your country, and it's going to affect the world. So as far as David Feldman goes, I think he has a platform, so he's trying to be over the top. I don't know. David Feldman, don't sue us. I think a lot of people, like your voters there that said, oh, they're with Biden, they were just happy he had a pulse, right? I seriously don't know what you're going to do. If you remove Biden, Camilla should be the next in line, I'm going to assume. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. She'll get the money, like we talked about it last time. She'll get the money in trust for the Biden-Harris campaign. She'd be able to use that for commercials and stuff. Camilla is not, she's much like Hillary. She has this reputation, and a lot of people are put off by her, right? I don't know if she could win. I don't know. Rick, do you have some thoughts on this, my friend?
I think Kamala has at least currently, a slightly better chance than Joe Biden. But, I understand why the Democrats would be hesitant to want to change candidates this late. But also, I think it's not because of some sort of wisdom that they're not doing it. I think it's fecklessness, chicken shittery. So they wouldn't be able to do it because they don't have the nerve. Yeah. So, but I almost think it's a moot point. I don't think the Democrats are going to make any moves on this. I think they're going to stick with Joe all the way to the loser box. Now, I will be gleeful if Joe somehow pulls it off. I don't know, man. I just don't think so.
Okay, that is fair. That is very fair, my friend. So we're still going to be talking about, no, decisions got to be made soon, right? When's the convention? Does anybody remember?
In August, I believe.
In August. They have to make a decision right away on what they're going to do. The one thing, Morning Joe, do you watch that at all? Or probably not. MSNBC Morning Joe. So Joe said that Biden should wrap it up and step out. Now he's changed his mind to saying, no, good old Joe should stick in.
Well, I'm sure he got a call from someone on the campaign being like, hey, Ixday on the Epstay Ound Day.
Yeah. Rumor has it that Obama's working in the background to get Joe replaced. All this is political Hill gossip, so we don't know what's happening.
It's times like this I turn to early 80s rock and I decide that when you get lost in New York City, the best you can do is fall in.
We're gonna end it on that note, okay, my friend? Thank you very much for being part of North of 48.